Madam President, Director of IASA, the Director of the Vienna Institute of Demography, the Director of the Vienna Institute of Economics and Business, and the Director of the new Wittgenstein Center for Demography and Global Human Capital. It gives me pleasure to say a few words about demography in sub-Saharan Africa and the challenges to education. I've limited myself to talking about those countries in Africa that are located south of the Saharan Desert. This region, the sub-Saharan African region, has the dubious distinction of being the fastest growing region in the world, with women producing on average about 5.2 children each. The region is growing annually at a growth of 2.6%. This means that if this growth rate were to persist, the entire population, now estimated at about 883 million, will double itself again in the next 20 years. Such a high population and fertility put pressure on the resources and ability of African states to deliver adequate and quality health care for their population, to provide adequate and quality education for children and all other social services. It's not surprising that this is the poorest region in the world. It has the highest level of infant mortality to date. It also has the highest number of children that are out of school. Those are children that have not even had the opportunity of putting their legs on the first step on the ladder to education. And these have been estimated to be about 19 million children. And yet, many of our African countries would not be able to meet the Millennium Development Goals on education, on reducing poverty, or on lowering maternal and child deaths. These countries, many of them, are not unaware of the negative impact of rapid population growth. What happens is that we have, in sub-Saharan Africa, governments that have not put population issues in the forefront of their agenda. I'm not going to stand here and recount all the woes in Africa. I'm simply going to say that, but there are ways of getting out of this. If the various governments were to apply the necessary political will and put behind that will sufficient resources to implement certain programs. It is obvious that with the rapid population growth, many governments have tried to lower fertility by family planning programs. But they've mainly paid lip service to this, and these have not succeeded. What has succeeded, and what is very well known, through all the type of literature, the research, and data coming out periodically, mainly from the demographic and health surveys of very many of these countries, is the fact that wherever the woman is educated, she finds the ways and means of lowering her own fertility. Therefore, the focus of attention should be to invest more in educating girls and women, rather than just attempting to lower fertility by family planning programs that have succeeded in other parts of the world, but have not succeeded in Africa, mainly because The political will is not there. And even today, we do have heads of governments in Africa that would glory in the rising number of population and tell their mostly illiterate population that the larger the population, the better for the country. But the real question is, what sort of population? What manner of people are these that are occupying these countries? And illiterate population is, of course, as good as having no population at all. It is obvious from the literature, from the data, in every part of the world, even in the poorest parts of Africa, girls who have been educated are likely to marry later. They are likely to have smaller number of children, and they are likely to have healthier families. Education is the most important means of empowering women. We have found from our own research that funds in the hands of mothers are most useful to families, not in the hands of fathers. So educating women and empowering them with knowledge, with skills, and self-confidence are really the founding beds on which we can expect Africa to develop and to escape from its present morass of poverty and rising population growth. So my message, of course, to maybe the wrong audience, but we'll pass it on nonetheless, that African leaders need to focus on education. In sub-Saharan Africa, women's education is a development priority. Thank you.